All right. It is some chargers, cups, Kleenex, Q&A Friday. Today's Q&A Friday, and I'm getting ready for our discussion today. We're going to have, I think, a pretty good. I think we're going to have a good call. I think we're going to do what we can with regard to taking some questions that have come in. What else? So I in addition to Q&A Friday, I just, happy Friday. Well, hopefully you're getting ready for a great weekend. And I trust that everybody's thinking about those in Ukraine. Okay, so, all right. So today is at 12 o'clock Eastern. We're going to pick up with some questions, and we're going to answer some questions that have come in on personal protective equipment, PPE. I had a really interesting question, email that came in from one of you out there that said about, that talked about, we watch these videos of explosions, and they question really, what does PPE do for you? And what do we tell some of our electrical workers? And I'll tell you, we're going to talk about that this afternoon at 12 o'clock. So I do plan on talking about that. Also today, next week is the IEEE Electrical Safety Workshop. If you have not registered yet, you can still do that. I put the links down below or up above. If you're on LinkedIn, it's up above. YouTube, it's down below. Facebook, I don't know. Sometimes I see it over on the side. I don't know. I can't keep track. Also, today is Factory Floor Friday. So if you are watching on LinkedIn, or regardless of where you're watching, go out there on LinkedIn and do a search for Factory Floor Friday. And I'm just going to make sure what I'm telling you is right. So I'm going to go out to my LinkedIn account, and there I am. I'm live. I'm going to do a pound Factory Floor Friday and see if that comes up. Yes, it does. So do a search for pound Factory Floor Friday. Hey, Nihad, good to see you, brother. Good to see you too. Trust all is well with you. As well as it can be. That's the key, is as well as it can be. So take a look. Go out on, and I'm going to check Facebook. I don't think they post on Facebook. But you got to check out Factory Floor Friday. I'm going to search for # Factory Floor Friday. Now, it's not the same. It's a different group, but Intercomp Racing looks like there is someone out there who's Factory. I'm having an allergy attack again. If you guys, if you all know and you tune in, the change of weather. So here's what I'm recognizing, that the moment we start getting things warming up, I think it's mold that happens outside. Those mold spores gets in the air. I'm allergic to mold. So that's what I think is going on. But every spring, it is, it's a part of me, man. I just react. So anyway, get out there on LinkedIn and look for # Factory Floor Friday. Also, again, don't forget to get your sign up. Get on the electricalsafetyworkshop.com website, and hopefully I will see you in Florida next week. So we have a week of absolute awesome fun and knowledge and talking about electrical safety at the Electrical Safety Workshop. So you're going to want to join in next week down in Jacksonville, Florida. And if you missed this year for whatever reason, and you're really interested, next year it's going to be another good one, and you have an opportunity to get involved next year. So just put this time frame on your calendar that you are planning to be at the Electrical Safety Workshop. I'll also remind you that we have registration open for the IAEI's Western Section meeting, and we have an awesome lineup for that as well. And those section meetings occur in the fall, so September, October timeframe. What else? Next week, next Tuesday on IAEI's YouTube. I couldn't think of the word YouTube. The YouTube site. Paul Flager. Hey, good morning. You didn't miss me, Paul. You're here. So on Friday, on Dirty Mike, hit that like button. Yes, hit the like button, and you got to hit the like button, and I got to make sure I get this right. This way. Look at that. Subscribe. I got all the GIFs going on. Thanks, Dirty Mike. So, and Paul, thanks for joining. But we're going to today's Q&A Friday at noon. Remember, it's at noon, and we're going to probably go a little bit longer because I want to answer a question on PPE. How do we watch these videos where things get ripped apart and then you're going to put an apprentice or you're going to put a journeyman in one of those suits and you're going to tell them what? Right? After you've just showed them a video of an explosion. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to talk about the development work that's going on and how far we've gotten so far on 70E and the 70B changes documents. So that ought to be a really good discussion. So the National Electrical Code, NEC 2023, I've got a changes document out there, and we have Paul is in there updating, and I see, thank you, Paul, for what you do. We're going to have this document, and again, I'm feeling pretty good. We're getting a lot of text in here. We're getting some background information in here. And then once we get this document, and I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. Once we get this document a little bit further along, I plan to we're going to throw some images in here, and we're going to publish this document. And I've committed to all of you out there that the profits of this are going to go to IAEI. So we're going to be we're developing this document. I've filled out, and I've worked a little bit over the past few days, and I try to every day get in there for about at least an hour, say around lunch or so. And sometimes I have it going a little bit longer than that, and I just keep adding because here's what's happening. I'm having discussions with individuals on things that are in the National Electrical Code. And I want to bring some of this up to you guys and gals as well. 210.70, 210. There's a good one. 210.52, I think it was. Yeah, 52. 210.52. We added some text. No, not in 210.52. It was 210.70. There's some stuff going on in 210.70. I haven't filled it out yet here, but I will be working on that as well. But there's just a lot of dialogue, and we're looking as we make code change documents, which is why I went virtual with my effort around code changes. A lot of people do these in a vacuum. This is what they'll do. They'll work within one or two individuals, and and maybe a small, close group of people they'll bounce things off of. Hey, good morning, Mark. Good morning. Thanks for joining. And what I'm learning is that the more eyes you get on the latest that the National Electrical Code has to offer, you start to find out that, the code, that language is not quite perfect. For example, 210.70, and I know I'm going a little bit further than what I wanted to go, but once I get on a roll, 210.70 is your lighting. And there's a lot of discussion about these wireless controllers. How do I handle the wireless controllers in the code? How do I handle, what are the requirements? What is a wireless controller? What part of the National Electrical Code covers a wireless controller? If it's not a switch, if it's not over in 404, which that panel has already said, no, it is not a switch. It's not listed to a switch. I'm talking about these wireless controllers that you just stick onto the wall and you can control your lights, turn them on and off. There was some language that over the last cycle and this cycle in the National Electrical Code that permits the use of those technologies. And we're trying to say, wait a second, what are we really saying here? Are we saying the right things? And I'd love to have your feedback on some of this, because I have questions in my mind about some of the language. But here's the interesting one. In 210.70A1, now 210.70 parent text says the switch or wall-mounted control device. They're two separate items, right? 404, Article 404, the panel that deals with switches said, no, it's not a switch. So a switch, a wall-mounted control device is not a switch. And could I argue that a switch is a wall-mounted control device? Maybe. Because it does control, but is it mounted? It's installed. It's integrated. I don't know. But in any case, in 210.70, we know that there's a difference between a switch and a wall-mounted control device. Yet in 210.70A1, it says at least one lighting outlet controlled by a listed wall-mounted control device. It doesn't say by a listed switch or wall-mounted control device. It says that you have to have one lighting outlet controlled by a wall-mounted control device. So that means I can't use a switch? I don't know. That wasn't our intent on panel 2. I don't believe it was our intent. It wasn't my intent on panel 2. I can't speak for everybody else on code making panel 2. I can't speak for NFPA. I can't speak for IAEI or anybody else. I could tell you what this guy thinks. I don't think that's what we meant. I know that wasn't what I was thinking, but that's what we wrote. So anyway, I'm struggling with that. And it wasn't changed. I mean, that's in the 2020 code as well. So that's why I like looking at what we're doing in a social environment. And I did not realize that until I started this. Well, what you're watching, which is relatively new. So anyway, I guess I'm not sure what my point was there. My point was that that I am developing these documents. We're doing it in a social way to make sure that we have a lot of different people's feedback and input to spot stuff like this. And my changes document is going to have suggested public inputs. What change document have you ever seen identifies issues and puts some recommended language? Think about that. So that's another thing that I'm going to add to this document that we're developing. When we identify, and we've identified, I keep flagging possible public input, and I put what we, the team, are identifying. So that's going to be another, I think, pretty doggone cool piece of what we're developing online. And if you want to be a part of that, I'll tell you what you need to do. If you want to be a part of that, this is what you do. You bring up your browser. You type in www.thomasdomitrovich.com. I know it's a long URL. ThomasDomitrovich.com. You hit enter. You will see my site. I've got links to all of my social media platforms. This one is still yet to come. Domitrovich Unplugged. Thank you, Jeff Sargent. I've got to work on that image. I sent this image over to Jeff, and you know what he said? Tom, you're missing the ground on the plug. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed it. Well, I said, in my mind, it was easier to draw. So anyway, go out there, go to resources in the menu items and register. It's free. When you register here, I send out emails. Like I sent an email out yesterday talking about today's Friday. Whenever I do my 2023 code changes or 70E, and I'm going to do the same thing with 70E. We create a document. Look at this. We create a document on 70E. There it is. See that little people sign? I've got people who are in there modifying, helping, even if it's just reviewing and then giving me comments. We are creating a 70E changes document. And I know you're going to go, it's Tom, it's too early to talk about 70E, but I'm doing it. And we're making a 70E document. And what I'm realizing right now is I'm talking too much. So it's 8:29. Listen, what you all have to do is get tuned in at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern today. I got the link down below, up above, left or right. And I will enjoy your company online for about an hour, maybe more. I don't know. We're going to talk about some common questions, some questions that have come in. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the changes that we're working on. All right, everybody. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you for tuning in on this Friday morning. And remember to please stay safe. Thank you for what you do for the electrical industry. I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you for what you do for the electrical industry. Thanks for what all of you do for electrical safety. And remember to stay safe and please stay healthy. I hopefully will see you at 12 o'clock Eastern today. Thanks, everybody.